KZN Future 50, powered by F&B Business and East Coast Radio, is up next. Stay tuned as we spotlight an unstoppable business shaping our future's province.
They say it's just business, but it's so much more for us as Mzansi businesses. It's about showing up every day on every street corner, B&B, barbershop, farm, franchise, and manufacturer. Because giving up is just not an option. It's about the comfort we, as over 1 million unstoppable businesses, feel from having F&B Business behind us. They help us stay unstoppable. Help changes everything. Global Finance 2024 Best SME Bank in South Africa. F&B, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
The KZN Future 50 with Pavlo Fatidis. Inspiring KZN's business future.
It's time for KZN Future 50, and for that we have Pavlo Fatidis from Auric. Good morning, Pavlo.
Good morning, Carmen. You sounding in very good spirit.
I am in great spirits. Tell us, which business will you be featuring today? And of course, why did you pick them?
Well, we're going to be featuring a business based out of PNB, which was established already in 1986. It is a second-generation family business called Need a Tool. And what they do is they offer equipment rentals, sales, repairs for people involved in the industry of DIY, as well as major corporations like Fortnet or Transnet, Mondi, and Toyota.
So what makes them special enough to be on the KZN Future 50?
Well, running a tool-hire business in 2025 is really not glamorous at all. You've had to deal with ongoing load shedding, stolen equipment, late payments, delayed payments, rising costs, and that happens every week. Sean, who is now the second-generation owner of the business, could have walked away like many people did, but he stayed because builders and welders and plumbers and small-time hustlers need him. He inherited this business from his father, Bohua, who was a pioneer in plant hire in KZN. And like many second-generation owners, he's faced with the hardest task: not growing the business, not innovating the business, but actually sustaining the business. Because the way the business was built by his father was for a fundamentally different economy and environment compared to what he's facing today. And today, people expect a greater digital experience. But what makes him special enough, he has stayed local, he has stayed honest, and he's kept people employed when many people were cutting staff. To the point, Carmen, where he's actually gone and built a small internal academy to train technicians, because finding skilled ones has become near impossible. He's locking and loading and getting this business for what I hope will be the third generation of family establishment.
That's amazing and so needed in our South African economy at the moment. So tell me, Pavlo, where will Need a Tool be in 5 years?
Well, hopefully succession is on the cards, and succession is where you pass the baton from the first runner to the second runner to the third runner. If this is going to go into the third generation of family in the business, Sean has got his son Declan and a loyal, highly skilled lieutenant Kudzai, and together they bring sales and operations together. That means in building these businesses, they've got their clients buying and operating while in many senses you are sleeping. Around 79% of buyers today on any score, whether you be a consumer or whether you be business to business, wants to be able to buy at midnight. And that's an expression that I use to really talk to the digital face of your business. In the United States, which is such an interesting stat, those 79% of buyers first go onto a website, they consider the offer, they look at what the business does, they think about it in relation to the problem they're seeking to get solved by buying what that business has to offer. And only when they feel confident and certain do they then reach out to the business. So the first big move over here is for Need a Tool to ramp up its digital presence on its website. But here's the thing, if Declan is good on sales, Kudzai is fantastic on operations, to get the digital piece right, there's a third leg needed. And that third leg is Sean's other son, who is currently working in England, that muddy, cold, wet, windy island, in technology. So he's developing the technology skills that if we brought it into the family fold again, and those three as the future generation of Need a Tool come together, aligned on a vision, the amount of innovation this business could go through in the next 10 years is profound.
What can KZN do to support Need a Tool?
Well, it's a combination. KZN can always do a lot, but increasingly, we as business owners need to do our bit too. Sean Kudzai and Declan need to get out there. They need to go and visit some of the big developments occurring across KZN. Across their base of stock and inventory, they've got cherry pickers. And a cherry picker is a machine used to safely lift people up to high places. So think of electricians fixing power lines, or warehouse workers, or tree trimmers, or painters and builders. And across KZN, we've got the West Town development in Shongweni, the kind of on-off but ongoing Giba Business Estate development by Marion Hill. And then we've got the Take-A-Lot Distribution Centre in Durban itself. There is so much investment coming into the KZN province. They've got to get ahead of it by visiting those big developers, understanding who the contractors are, and doing a meet and greet in order to get themselves known and in the hands and books as vendors of those big developers.
Pavlo Fatidis from Auric is joining us for KZN Future 50. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to get involved in KZN Future 50, it's simple. You go to ecr.co.za and you can find all the info on every single company that we feature.